Hey everybody, how's it going today? We are going to take a look at the end of year gachas that are going to be here to tempt your orbs before we hit the new year. Obviously, people are going to want to save up for Masamune, who will be our newest exclusive and is looking to wreck the game completely with her new skills. But until then, there will be plenty of gachas that will be there to tempt your orbs. I'm at 1472 right now. I think there's a few things I still haven't finished for the month, but they will be tempting you to use them, and maybe this video will help you figure out whether or not you should pull on a specific gacha or not. So if you don't remember, here is what is coming up in the next 3 days. Starting today, we have the only alpha gacha and the first get gacha, which is active right now. You can pick one of those two gachas to pull today, and then tomorrow we will be looking at the 2023 Playback Gacha, where you get to have monsters specifically debuting in this year to pull on. And then last but not least, you have the All-Star along with the special Gekijushinisai Guardians Gacha that will be available on New Year's Eve. Remember, all of these gachas cost orbs and will be making progress towards your Hoshidama, so make sure you keep an eye on that when you make your decision. So first, let's start with the ones that are active today. We have the only alpha gacha here right now, and a reminder on what this gacha is. All 5-star or higher monsters that come out of this gacha will only be alpha monsters. Of course, exceptions to any collab alphas, they will not be included in this gacha, of course. You get one guaranteed monster and a single 10 pull to do that in. Now, Shiro did put out a video explaining which monsters he felt would be a win from getting this gacha. There are 45 monsters that have the alpha designation that can be gotten from this gacha, and he called out these 15 monsters as being good characters. Now, do note that some of these characters have better replacements now. They were amazing before, perhaps, but possibly a bit overshadowed at the moment with newer collab or legends exclusive characters, stuff like that. But he listed Tequila, Martha, Onyanka Pon from fire, from the water element Nono, Kamehameha, Bennett, Arslan, and Kogiri Sakuno. For the wood element, he only highlighted Azatoth. For the light element, we have Elma and Konilu. I think they were together, right? Arsene, Formula, and Newton Alpha, of course. I think everybody wants her. And then we have Ophelia and Aaron's Rod as the dark element wins for the only alpha gachas. Now, of course, keep in mind that might not apply to you. Look at these characters, see which stages they are really good in. Do you have the replacement limited characters I was talking about that make these alpha characters less worth it? It's really up to you to figure that out. But in general, the suggestion to pull on this gacha is quite low. So I would not, I would not pull this unless you really are, missing. For example, you really need Newton Alpha to help you out with that castle stage. If that's the case, then it can be worth it to do a pull. Why not? But remember, it's just a temple, and again, not so recommended. Next up, we have the first get gacha here. This guarantees you one new monster in the 10th slot of this gacha. Repeats are possible in slots 1 through 9, and for the rare case that you get a monster in slot 1 through 9, it doesn't exclude that from that 10th slot. I have seen that happen, but it's a first get before you pull this gacha, so you could get dupes within the gacha. A very rare case though. However, do keep in mind that for this gacha, the Hoshidama is not guaranteed to be a new monster. So it's only included, the Hoshidama rule is it a monster in the pool that you pull in. And technically every monster is in the pool here. It's just the last slot is guaranteed to be new. So please be careful about that. You do not want to activate your Hoshidama on this gacha. Now, also to note that it does look like that the newest Midnight Party exclusive Mito Mitsukuni is not available in this gacha, so please be careful about that. So, you know, in the end, if you're a new player and you have like hundreds of characters you don't have, highly do not recommend this gacha to pull at all. It should not even be in a inch of thought for you to pull on. However, the smaller the pool of unknown monsters you have, the higher this gacha is on pulling to get a specific monster. For example, Shiro is saying if he pulls on this gacha, he is basically guaranteed to get Fempt, right? Which, you know, got added very recently. Obviously, since Mito Mitsukuni is not available. So, you know, for somebody like him, this is a great gacha to pull on because you're guaranteed to get a monster, and also will help whittle down, you know, your potential wins from the castle gacha. So different, you know, stages of life, you know, monster strike life for different people will dictate whether or not you want to pull on this, but, you know, in general, probably not worth pulling. Now, let's just go back to the home screen and look at Lorelei since we don't have any of the other gachas. December 30th, we will have the Playback Gacha, the 2023 Playback Gacha. And what this works is there's one guaranteed monster in the 10th slot of this gacha. For the first 10 pull you do, the characters are limited to monsters that debuted in the first half of 2023, January through June. And then the second 10 pull you do on this gacha will be limited to the second half of 2023, July through December 2023. You can only do one 10 pull on each half, and it is a step up gacha, so you must pull the first half gacha before you are allowed to pull on the second half. And there's no, you know, swapping of orders or anything. You have to go in that order and do 2 10 pulls to get the full, you know, both sides of this gacha. Now, I will warn people, you know, to, again, keep an eye on your Hoshidama count, right? You get, if you are able to time this right, you can get an extra pull on this very limited set of monsters, which is actually quite, you know, quite attractive. You don't get this chance to get specific, especially general pool monsters. You know, the specific chance to get those monsters, you know, in such a small pool. So a very, you know, it might be a good idea to adjust your current Hoshidama count so that you can try to take advantage of this. So if you take a look at the Playback Gacha, the pool is quite small, like I was saying. The first half has 30 monsters available, and Shiro calls out 11 of these 30 as being really good monsters to have in your box. Taobi and Zyric, Charlemagne, Yakumo and Muse, Galatine, Kirinji, Hamelin's Pipe and Memory, and then he also calls out the alpha monsters, Arslan Alpha, Kogiri Sakuno Alpha, and Arsene Alpha as being great monsters to get in your box as well. So that does mean he's saying that there is a 11 out of 30 chance to getting a good monster from the first half. But the second half, look at that. That's actually quite good. He's calling out 12 monsters, and there are only 22 monsters in this gacha. So again, like I was saying, if you can massage your Hoshidama or maybe take advantage of Spy Family meanwhile, this is not a bad idea to try and get some love out of this gacha. Kill Your Idol, Heya Synth, Awamori, you got Abideo along with Sing Guilty, Nijima Yae Snowdrop, Satori Klimt. We're talking about Klimt as the newest light exclusive, Moscow Mule, Magia, and for this gacha, Mito Mitsukuni is available. He is part of that since he did debut in December, right? So a very, very good set of monsters, and so a high recommendation to everybody. If you can afford the orbs, this seems like a pretty darn good gacha to spend a few orbs on. And then on New Year's Eve, December 31st, we have the All Stars Gacha. We've seen this many times, but there are 2 guaranteed monsters in the first pull you do, and then the second 10 pull you do on this gacha will guarantee 3, with the last one being a guaranteed limited monsters. Now, of course, limited characters are available along the way, but this gacha does not include any alpha, time limited, collab monsters. Be careful about that. But this does mean you are guaranteed 5 monsters within 20 pulls, one of them being limited. And Shiro was calling out in his video to be careful about what people post on the internet, and especially the Discord channel. Remember, all it takes is to get 1 or 2 hits in your gacha for this to look amazing, right? You are guaranteed 3 already. If you can get 1 or 2 in that first 7, you're gonna see a lot of flashing rewards there, and it might look tempting, might look attractive, but just keep in mind that you are guaranteed 3 in that picture, so it already looks amazing. It could just look even more amazing after that. I do tend to like to pull on the all-stars as well, but I'm gonna think about it real hard this year. I'm not so sure. I'm on the fence. And last but not least, we have the New Year's Eve Guardians gacha. This always happens. They bring it back one last time. You do get that opportunity to pull at 24% rates for this gacha. Your first single and first 10 pull are at 24%. I might do the single. I probably will do the single for sure, but not so sure about the 10 pull. But there's nothing otherwise special about this gacha. No monsters have a specific, special New Year's outfit or anything, but something to note this year at least is that after this year we are going to see Ebisu, Anastasia, Polaris, Jack the Ripper, and Kicho being removed from the Geki Jushinsai and replaced to a different gacha. We don't know where exactly. Maybe they'll do a generations type thing, or maybe they'll just be slotted into the elemental exclusives, which has been the trend thus far. So if you are missing those monsters, especially seeing how strong Anastasia has looked since she got her Transcension Kai, you may want to make sure you have at least one of these characters in your box, because trying to pull for them in the elemental exclusives are usually not the ideal place to chase after these characters. So be careful about that, but keep in mind the very next day is going to be New Year's Day, and we have a lot to look forward there. Yeah. Okay, and so what is my suggestion? And I mean, of course, parroting what Shiro said in his video, the 2023 Playback Gacha is going to be the big win for these days. If you have to pull on one of these gachas, this is the one to do. Do both 10 pulls to fully take advantage of getting a useful monster, as both parts, the first half and the second half, do feature a small pool of monsters, and a majority of them are quite useful. Obviously, check with your box to see if it jives well with what you're missing, or do you have anybody else that's powerful enough that makes some of them not so great, but in general they are good value pulls. The other thing is, of course, like I was saying, if your ownership rate of monsters is high, which means the count of monsters you don't have is small, you can consider doing the first get gacha as well. And I think I talked about it before. Make sure you do your math correctly for the Hoshidama. Remember, some of these gachas, actually all of these gachas, have at least a guaranteed slot in them. Make sure you do your math correctly and don't account for the fact that, if you are guaranteed a 6-star monster, that is 100% chance that that slot is not contributing to your Hoshidama. So think about that as you figure out what gachas do I need to pull so that I can get a Hoshidama activating on this, and what are the chances if I get this many hits that it won't activate here. Because the last thing you want to do is pull for the intent that it gets activated on this gacha, but because you are off by 1 or 2, you've missed activating it, and now you have to wait for something else. So please be careful about that. And before we go today, I just wanted to show my results from 2022. Here are what I got and what I pulled on. For my main account, I did do the only alphas gacha. I got 3 monsters, but I ended up getting Mozart and Nasuno Yoichi twice out of that, so not so great. The Playback Gacha, I got 3 out of 10 on the first half and 3 out of 10 on the second, and activated the Hoshi on there. That's kind of the ideal situation that I want to do here. And unfortunately, since I'm at 25 out of 50, that does mean I'm gonna have to do one more 10 pull somewhere else. So whether that's going to be on Spy Family, or maybe I'll do the only alpha again. I don't know. I need to really think about it. I'm not sure, but you can see that, I got some decent hits out of there, even getting a, Anastasia alpha out of that, Ebiten Musume, which I remember I missed from that that adventure game thing. So that was a nice relief to get that. But 7 monsters out of that Playback Gacha, where you're only guaranteed 1 each, right? So that was a huge win out of there. I also did the playback on my alt. I don't know, that second half is amazing, right? Faust and Arslan was earned from that gacha. So that's a pretty, those 2 gachas, again, because the pool is so small, the chances of getting those, notable flashy monsters is up there. So highly recommend it. And then All Stars I did on my main only, Tutankhamun Genai, Hamlet, Kojiro, and Shotoku Taishi. 2 exclusives, limited monsters, so that's not bad either. So again, think about it hard, keep an eye on your orb count, and I'm just gonna say it once again, I'm not shilling for Mixie anywhere, but I just want to make sure that you don't have any problems at the end of the year. If you do intend to purchase orbs for this gacha, for the New Year's gacha or any of these other gachas, do it in advance. If you do it right when it hits midnight, everybody is going to be slamming the servers. Monster Strike side, Google side, Apple side, they are all going to be hit hard, especially from Google and Apple sides. It's not just Monster Strike. All the other games in Japan, in the world, are going to be doing something for New Year's. It will be heavy. You will be waiting longer than usual. Even to just gacha, that's going to be taking a while. So all of these bottlenecks are going to happen. And, I always see people like, oh, why don't they buy more servers? It's like, it's going to be just for like an hour or 2. You're not going to buy extra servers just to handle that. It'll calm down. So just try to find ways to make sure that you aren't in a state where you're going to be stuck in the game, right? I said it before, I think it was last year, but Shiro, or maybe it was the year before, but Shiro was in a state where, because he tried to purchase orbs, something got stuck and he couldn't log into the game anymore until the next day. I don't know, weird things happen with bottlenecks in software, so be careful. Anyways, let me know which gachas you're going to be pulling on. If you pulled on the gachas that are available today, let me know. I am on the fence whether I want to do the alpha gacha. It's an interesting prospect for sure. I think I'm at like about half of the alphas I own. So I don't know, but I might just hold off, and then tomorrow I'll adjust my pull count with Spy Family. I don't know, we'll see, but keep an eye on your orbs. Masamune looks insane, and well, good luck to all of you who are ready to pull. Anyways, that's it for me today. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, do consider hitting the like button and subscribe as well. We're going to have plenty of gachas to look at until the end of the year. And of course, the New Year's gacha will be a lot of fun. But if you want to see any latest news, ENG Monst on Twitter/X is available. And of course, don't forget the Discord channel, where you have a lot of folks who love the game and speak English to talk about your woes, happinesses, concerns. All is available there. So that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.